Obviously, the authors had to write their stories, which came together beautifully because of your mentorship. But what people don't see that I see is the back end of the production of getting this book out and orchestrating all the stakeholders involved to bring a book to life. And I just want you to know how seen you are and how grateful we are that you have really helped birth 20 new best-selling authors. And this is because, in part, your impact, your heart, your soul to this project. So thank you, Danielle. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Oh my gosh, I am so honored and excited. This has been honestly the best project I've worked on thus far in my entire life.
Oh.
I'm so honored to be here and excited to be celebrating these incredible authors with you all today. I have had the absolute privilege of working with each one of them, both in a group setting and individually over the last nearly 8 months. Can you guys believe it? It's been almost 8 months that they've been working on this. As they've walked through that process of sharing their all-out life stories and getting it into writing, it's been quite a process, but we've tried to make it as fun as possible. I am a life story coach, and my primary goal is always to make people feel seen, heard, and valued in the process of sharing their stories. And I could not have asked for a more incredible group of people to take through this process. The incredible response to this book launch, both in having so many of you here today with us live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and then also, if you haven't read the reviews on the book, oh my gosh, you guys, I haven't even told the authors this to their faces yet. So for those of you that are here, go read those reviews, because that is the fulfillment of what so many of you had told me was your desired impact that you wanted to make. And I am so proud of you. And the whole Burnout to All Out team is so proud of you. So with all of that, congratulations. Let's walk into this next section of today's book launch and summit. We are going to be talking about CEO family management, and the first speaker is Dr. Elizabeth Wygant. Dr. Elizabeth is the powerhouse behind the FEM formula. She has carved a niche in the functional nutrition industry with her disruptive and transformative strategies. After 5 years of working under the traditional model of healthcare as a doctor of pharmacy, she quickly realized that healing is found from within. After hitting burnout and experiencing her own array of health issues as a new mama, Dr. Elizabeth found her heart's calling in providing tools to help women lead healthier lifestyles. So on a personal note, Elizabeth is one of the most wise, kind, and inquisitive women I have ever met. I've learned so much about embracing my own feminine superpower and just the overall gift of motherhood. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for all the ways you continue to serve this community and beyond in the world. And with that, I'll hand it over to you.
Wow, what an intro. My goodness. Was not expecting that little shout out there. Thank you. That was very sweet. Thank you to Melissa and the entire team for everything. And thank you, all of you, for being here and spending this day with us and celebrating with us in becoming best-selling authors. That's so incredible. That's actually one thing that has been on my bucket list since I was a little girl. So we fulfilled that. I think it's freaking awesome. Also want to give a shout out to Dr. Anjali, because Mama's hips are tight. Those glutes are tight. Thank you for that little stretch. It was absolutely glorious. And I'm going to share my screen here with all of you and pull up. Well, if I could get to where I needed to be, hang on one second, and pull up my PowerPoint here. All right. Can you see that okay? I'm going to probably go in present mode. Let me go here. Can you see that okay? Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, so yes, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Wygant, and I'm going to speak with all of you here today about 5 ways to establish harmony in your body, business, and family. first of all, a little walkthrough of who I am. So I'm known as the Women's Hormone Health Coach. I'm a functional nutrition expert. I'm an international writer, now a best-selling author, podcast host, and national speaker. But how did I get to this point? So for me, it really became apparent that I was not aligned with where I was in my career. My catalyst was becoming a mother for pivoting and switching into this role, into like this holistic health space and serving women. And my story is quite lengthy, so I will invite you to read my chapter. But really what it boils down to is the fact that I was burned out as a pharmacist. I was a pharmacy manager for 5 years. Definitely not on board with the way that the traditional healthcare field operates. I knew that there was something better out there for people to feel at their best rather than having to constantly be reliant on medications. And then again, becoming a mother was like that turning point. For me, I had some pretty traumatic experiences giving birth to both of my daughters. And then the final straw was when I landed myself in the hospital. I was not taking care of myself. I was at the bottom of my list. And I knew at that moment that like literally enough is enough. There's something more and something better out there for me. And it was definitely the realization that women have gone through so much presently, historically, to a lesser or greater extent than I had, and that I knew I needed to be a part of that change. So that's kind of like a little bit of how I got to what I do today. And then my mission is to change the world for my own daughters and women everywhere. So I have 2 little girls. They are 5 and 3, feisty little beasts. And I know that I don't want them to have the reality that I faced in the world in a career. So I'm here to change that for them and women all over. And I firmly believe that femininity is the superpower of the entire world. And I'm dedicated to teaching women how to reclaim it and utilize that to transform their lives. And something I want to say here to the femininity piece. If you look at the literature now, or any influencers out there, one in particular that struck me as interesting was Gary Vee. He stated last summer that the emerging superpowers of business, aka the world, because businesses run the world, is honing in on your soft skills. And these soft skills, if you look them up, are feminine leadership skills. So these are things like compassion, empathy, working well with others, collaboration, connection, like treating people as human beings. So own your femininity. We all have it within us, and allow it to ascend and allow it to rise. Okay. That is my full-hearted belief. So this is what I'm going to walk you through today. So we're going through 5 different ways to really embrace what I call building like your strong foundation. And this is something Melissa has really just lit a fire underneath my tushy about. And just working with her, she's been such a blessing for me in this regard. But really what it comes down to is looking at yourself as the number one priority, because without taking care of you, you can't have that momentum to move forward. And again, like this pouring into the cups of others, right? That whole analogy of when you have your cup so full, it overflows and you're able to pour into others. So this is what I'm going to walk you through today. And what I had done in my healing journey as well. Okay, so step 1 is to do the inner work. You see Queen Bee here. She's fabulous. She's strutting. This is what you will feel like once you start to hone in the incredible capabilities of you as an individual. And that comes with doing that inner work. It is a key component of building a strong and solid foundation, right? That's how we're going to be able to really encompass the idea of having that harmony in our life, right? In business and body and family. Another thing here that's really important to note is that it helps you regulate your nervous system. So it helps you to stress less, which is very important, especially in this fast-paced world. And again, keeps you committed to self. Some things that I like to do and that I recommend for my clients with inner work is doing meditations, journaling, gratitude practices. Hypno breathwork is one of my absolute favorite ways to tap into my intuition and get really clear about what it is I want in my life. So those are just a few examples of doing the inner work. So then step 2 is developing a solid morning routine. And this is really crucial when you are looking at, again, that strong foundation and creating those solid, strong bones of your foundation. So you're a being of mind, body, and spirit. And what I mean by that is everything is connected. Your mind connects to your body connects to your mind, and your spirit is your soul, right? So everything works as one. And in Western culture here, we have forgotten this key aspect of being human. We have decided to compartmentalize all of these parts of ourselves, and it just doesn't work that way. So when you are working on developing that solid morning routine, you want to really create a sacred space for yourself. This was key in my healing journey. I needed this. This brought about me tapping into my spirituality again, which I had lost along the way of working in like the nasty grind of pharmacy, and just getting a little lost in what it is I wanted and needed for myself. And again, it enhances your inner work progress. So that's where you can take the meditations, the journaling, the hypno breath work, and build it into your morning routine. And it doesn't have to be anything lengthy. It could be 20 minutes for yourself, right, per day. It doesn't have to be anything extensive, okay? Just starting with those small steps and making progress to move forward is what we're looking for here. And then maybe eventually you will build it out to something bigger and longer and whatever it is that you want to do in the morning. And again, this ties back into that solid foundation building that we talked about. So we're wrapping all of this together in a pretty little bow here for you. So the next step is you're a goddess, you're bleeping flawless. I don't know if anyone has heard this song. It is so great. I love it. But really what this means is your body is your temple, and we really need to treat it as such. So when I think of that word temple, I am wanting to be a conscious consumer and mindful of what I'm surrounding myself with. So my external environment, and also what I'm putting in and on my body. So the internal environment, right? And with my clients, I really focus on the nutritional aspect as the core of my program. So that being said, nutrition is your number one tool in your toolbox. Okay, so this goes for everyone across the board, male or female. Nutrition is key. If you're filling your body up with junk, so processed foods, fast food, all day, every day, you're going to really wear yourself out, and then you won't be able to operate at your full potential. And this is where I think about it like when I'm feeding myself, I want to make sure I'm blessing my body. Of course, we're not all perfect. I'm not saying like you have to eat clean 100% of the time, right? But be aware of what you're putting into your body. It's super duper important. And I educate on this at length, which we don't have time for here today. So, and then step 4, this is something that probably many of you women haven't heard of. If you have, you can drop it in the chat. If you haven't, you can drop it in the chat, say yes, no, what the heck is this? What are you talking about? So this is honoring your internal seasons. And what I mean by this is honoring your infradian rhythm. So we as women operate on multiple biological clocks. So we have our circadian rhythm, which is your sleep-wake cycle, and then your infradian rhythm. And with that being said, we either don't know what the heck that is, or we are completely ignoring it, or both. And this is something that is tied directly to your cycle. I teach on how to hormone sync, so how you can work with the different phases of your cycle and optimize your hormones to what I call enhance your energy. It's an energy preservation process. And this is often an untapped biological clock. So you have 4 phases of your cycle, as you can see on the screen here. And each one brings about a different level of energy. And each one can be regarded as a different season in your body. And when we go over this with my clients, something kind of clicks and you're like, oh, that makes sense, right? Like, no wonder I just want to kind of veg out on the couch when I'm in my menstrual phase. Like, you're tired, it's your inner winter, you want to be comforted, and do things that are a little bit more relaxing for yourself. And this is something that really like I'll go back, sorry, that we can use to its advantage in order to create that harmony in your body, business, and family. Because again, energy preservation, and it's filling your cup and you're building that strong, solid foundation while you're doing it. And this is just a quote. So while often overlooked and underappreciated, the infradian rhythm is truly a woman's superpower, an invisible force that flows through her being. Like a symphony, it orchestrates the intricate dance of hormones, emotions, and intuition, giving her innate ability to navigate the ebb and flow of life with grace and resilience. And then last but not least is to discover your purpose. So this needs deep reflection and thought. This is something that doesn't typically happen overnight. It's usually, like for me, an event that lands you in the hospital, or some major event happens in your life and you're like, oh, all of these things have happened to me because they were life lessons. These were teaching points in order to get me on the path to my purpose. So be aware and be cognizant of, okay, what's going on in my life? What is it that I need to do in order to let my gift shine in the world? And it helps. I like to speak to this too, is uncovering your why, right? My why, it's my family, it's my daughters, it's creating a different world for them. And then also for those of you who already know your why, revisit it. It can change, it definitely can evolve. Just be mindful of that, and it's okay if it changes. And I love Marie Forleo. I think she's fabulous. And she says, everything is figure outable. So when you are looking to discover your purpose, you most definitely can figure this out. And it is definitely, once you do, it's like butter on toast. It just pairs so nicely together, right? And it aligns with who you are as a being. So are you inspired to tap into your hormonal advantage now? I hope you're all saying yes. If you want to throw in the chat, go for it. Like, heck yes, give me some fire emojis, something, because I hope that you all are. I'm sure you are. And that is why I'm inviting you to my upcoming free workshop, my Fempire Builders Blueprint Workshop. It's 4 insider secrets to go from hustle to flow by optimizing your hormones and skyrocketing your success. You can scan that QR code. And what I'm going to do is walk through in much more detail the components of the infradian rhythm. So those internal seasons, how to maximize that when it comes to building out your business. And also like your personal life, how to hone that in and like really just accelerate your life entirely. And also really go into a ton of detail on the nutritional aspects. Like I said, I teach hormone syncing, and there's different key components to your nutrition that you can add in to your everyday. And again, just like feel freaking fantastic and completely change your life and your business and in your body. So with that, I am done. I feel like I talked super fast. Thank you again for being here, and I just appreciate all of you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elizabeth. That was so informative. I definitely took some notes on my end and took a picture of your slide because I want to know all the things about cycle syncing, increasing my productivity, establishing harmony. That was amazing. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
Next up is Noelle. Noelle Campbell is a mom of 4 born and raised in Hawaii. Her background in education has been the cornerstone through her entrepreneurial journey. She is always creating projects that center around connection and is currently the founder of the Health Hui. I think, is that how we say it? Hui? And Hui. That was better, I think. And Mama Biz Life. She has some Hawaiian language in her chapter as well. And I was constantly Googling, how do you say this? How do you say this? But Noelle is amazing. Noelle and I actually had a really special moment together when we were in Arizona, kicking off the book writing process in February. She was sharing just a little bit about her story and her hopes for this year. And I can honestly say that Noelle has gone above and beyond to make her vision a reality, while also prioritizing the well-being of her family and her children. Noelle is joining us today from Hawaii, even though she's walked through an incredibly challenging 24 hours. So we are just so grateful that she's still here to share with us today. I can't wait to continue learning from this beautiful and strong woman. And with that, I will hand it over to you, Noelle.
Hi, everybody. Do I have to screen anything or it will just come up?
No, if you have your slides, go ahead and screen share.
Oh, I'm just speaking.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Noelle Kawanoi Campbell. I'm from Kumo'iliili, Oahu in Hawaii. And I am going to talk about how to close the gap between present parenthood and professional success. First, I just want to say thank you to all of the beautiful women and men who's going to speak after and who have already spoken, and to our mentors in this program. It's just been such a amazing roller coaster journey, adventure, all of it in one. And I'm so grateful to all of you. I just want to say that, if you guys can pray for Maui. Something happened in the last 24 hours, crazy winds, lots of fires. Go check that out after. But just, so much has happened at home. And I just bringing all that with me and talking about the importance of community. And so it makes sense for me to bring that up, because community is literally all of our superpowers to parenting and success in business. And so a little bit about me. My background is in education, like Danielle mentioned. I have a master's in education and teaching. I started teaching at a Hawaiian immersion school in Hawaii, where I loved it. I loved children. I loved teaching them about our culture and our language. And there was just one thing that was so hard about being in that environment. If anyone has worked for the public school system, you know that resources are slim. And so I was moved from elementary to high school, back to elementary, and I was exhausted as a early 20-year-old. And so I wanted to branch out and try something new, thinking I would always go back to teaching. So I ended up in the nonprofit world. Loved it. Okay, so I jumped into this. I was working for a farm. I was teaching after-school farm programs, and I felt like this was like my thing. I loved everything about it. And then I got pregnant a month later. Super surprise, shocker. My husband now, who was my boyfriend at the time for about 9 months, it was just wild. So I ended up choosing to quit that job and stay home and be a stay-at-home mom. My boss at the time really pressured me. She's like, why would you do this? And she asked me a question that stuck with me, that I ask myself all the time, and I ask people that I work with all the time. Are you a mom with a career, or are you a career mom? And the answer is going to be different for everybody. And if you're a mom and you're in the audience, put a 1 in the chat, because I'm just curious how many of you are moms and can really relate to these stories. And maybe you're not a mom and you can still relate to these stories, because as women, we can relate to each other. And so maybe my story resonates with you as well. I go more into depth in my chapter about my ups and downs with motherhood and careers. But fast forward, I basically was a stay-at-home mom. I felt like very fulfilled. I loved what I was doing, but I also was missing connection and community. and just living out a purpose that I felt that I still had outside of motherhood. Don't know if anyone can relate, but I know a lot of people in my community that have been through that similar story. When my son was 2 years old, I have a friend who owns her own nonprofit here where I live. It's an amazing, beautiful Hawaiian fish pond. The work that we do was amazing and so beneficial and impactful to our community. She called me and she asked if I wanted a job. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I quit my job to stay at home with my kids. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I literally was breastfeeding my son at the time. And I was like, how dare you? I thought about it for a second and it just kept burning inside me that I was missing something. So I thought maybe I can make it work. My son was going to go to school and I decided to take this job. Loved it, fulfilled so much inside me. I was living that dream of giving back to my community, doing such good work. And then I got pregnant again. And so this is now my second child. And now I was a working mom. I was working more than 9 to 5. I was working weekends. I was on salary. Working in the nonprofit world, you're expected to do many different types of jobs. And I was severely overworked and underpaid. And so I decided to stick it out. I was a working mom now. And I realized, I had to take my leave without pay to be at home with my son for 3 months when he was a newborn. I realized that my sick leave now was not for when I was sick. It was if my son was sick or if I wanted to be there for a certain event that my kids were doing. I was getting home past 5 p.m., having to put dinner together and just try to be as present as I could with the little time I had before they went to sleep. I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but I was doing the full mom or career mom hustle and grind. That was okay as my son got a little older and I was feeling a little better about it. Tons of stress, guilt, shame, but I did it, right? Because I love my job. Then I got pregnant again. And so with my third, I just was like, I can't do this all over again. That was too much. I made it through, but now I'm here again at this crossroad. Paying for 2 in childcare was just going to be more than what I was even making. And I decided to quit my job, but this time I want to try something different. So I jumped into a business model that seemed to work for mothers who wanted to stay home, have their kids, kind of work part-time, but make a full-time salary. And so I ended up doing social selling. I did that for 7 years. Through that experience, oh my gosh, I learned so much about entrepreneurship, about sales, about business, nothing that was in my expertise, similar to Lene, if you guys heard her talk earlier. But I was doing it, okay? I had my kids on my side. I was making it work. And I ended up making amazing salary, something that I had amazing income, something I had never dreamed of as a teacher. So it just opened my eyes to the possibility. And I just want to share that if I had not been brave enough to take these leaps and jumps where I felt the need to shift, they were big life changes, but they were just a split second of a decision that felt more aligned, and I made it happen. And that led me to where I am now, where I'm working for myself. I have created my own business. I love what I do. I work with amazing people, and I truly feel like I'm living the dream of present parenting because I work from home, I make my own schedule, and getting to create what I want with the community that I want, and just make a difference in the world. So I want to share with you guys, that's my story, but I want to share with you guys what it took to get there, because it's going to be a little different for everybody. And at the same time, I think there's certain cornerstones in my journey that hopefully if you are in any of my situations, because I've been in 3 different situations, right, as a mom. So I really can relate to so many different and unique situations that mothers go through when you want to be also contributing to your income, your family income. So I hope these can help you. So 1 is knowing yourself. Know thyself, right? If you don't know yourself, you won't be able to tap into those small, out of tune moments where your current life is. And that's really what it started with, just like a feeling, right? And an inkling, and then doing more research, and then thinking about what would happen if I did make a shift, right? And just really feeling into that. Every mom is different. Not all moms want to stay at home. Not all moms want to have a career, right? Everyone's goals, desires, deep inner workings are going to be unique and different. And that's what I love about working with the plethora of clients that I get to work with, is that I get to ask questions that help me understand what they truly desire. So every mom is different. desires can change as your family grows, and it is completely okay to change directions. Right now, I've been in this season of babies, growing my business with babies, this whole time. And now all of a sudden I have a almost teenager, and I'm feeling this shift of where I'm a whole different mom. Like, I'm shuttling kids to sports. I have to be very present and very aware of what I say and what I do and how I act. It's just different, right? I'm in a new season. And so I'm naturally going to have new desires, new things that are going to be easy and challenging as I grow into this new stage of motherhood. It's okay to change directions. Sometimes we grow up with these huge dreams, right? I dreamed I would always be a teacher forever. I would retire as a teacher with my great retirement. And do I regret it for a second? Absolutely not, because I've honored myself in this journey, and I've always checked in with what would be best for not just myself, but everyone involved in the situation, which is my family and my community. Personal and professional development will completely help you in this area. So if you ever feel like you're just a little unattached from what you truly desire, I highly suggest finding someone that can help pull that out of you. So I've done a ton of personal development, professional development. I've hired coaches. I'm in this mastermind. I've invested in myself so that I can understand what will bring me to my highest potential, not just in my career, but definitely also in my motherhood. So you want to seek out somebody who's a good fit for you, but don't ever be afraid to invest in yourself in those areas, because it's only going to help you to align deeper with yourself. Most people won't take the time to do this. They'll bypass the inner work and they'll bypass that. And so if you can do that, I swear it will help you tenfold. Number 2, be unapologetic, brave, and trusting. I talked a little bit about that in the beginning, that if I wasn't brave enough and I guess trusting enough that this was the next best decision for myself, my family, I wouldn't have done it. We live in a world of apologies and people pleasing, and it actually takes tons of bravery to be yourself, not only to strangers, but sometimes to the people that are closest to you and the ones that you love. And so you have to trust yourself against all odds. And again, just be brave and unapologetic to be yourself. Last and definitely not least is community. And so community is key to finding happiness, to leveraging your time and your resources, and really providing grounding for your kids even. And so if you look around, like, kids love community. They love to interact with friends. I have introverted kids and they still need community to just feel, I think, alive and happy and loved, right? And so it really helps to have supportive community around you. Everybody needs connection. We are humans who are truly pack creatures. And so it's important to seek out a community that feels supportive to you. That can be online or in person. I look at online as a hybrid of what community used to look like. Like, when I was a stay-at-home mom, it was almost impossible to find a community. I had to go like physically to maybe a workout or like a mommy group. Now you can just go online and search out mom communities. It's pretty easy, and find ones that really align with you and your values as a family. You don't forget your friends, of course, people who have been with you this whole journey, but you do need to find support to where you're headed. And I always suggest this, like, you want to find a group and community that is almost outside of where you're at, like farther along the path of where you're looking to go. And that's literally a huge reason why I signed up for this community with Melissa and her whole team, because I wanted to up-level myself in business with also being mindful of my kids. And Melissa is such a shining example of that. And so I wanted to learn from her. How is she growing this $1 million business while her kids being at the forefront of her life? And so you want to find people that align with you and where you're headed. What else? Just to wrap up, I just want to say, like, where do you find communities? Local events, get out of your comfort zone, try new things that you've always wanted to, but you never made time for. Also, there's podcasts, social media. There's so many online communities, like I talked about. If you guys want to follow me, I have something to pull up. Hold on. I do have a QR code, but basically, I'm building a mommy business community where we focus on health, we focus on business, we focus on livelihood, we focus on our families. And I just love working with other moms and helping them to just be their best. Let's see. I'm usually on Instagram, so that probably is the easiest way to find me. And you can find all my other social media channels from there. This QR code will just take you to a page where you can connect with me further, get on my email list. I am launching a ton of exciting opportunities in the next few months. And if you want to be a part of that, or just to see what I do and how I can serve you, I'd love if you joined me.
Yay! Thank you so much, Noelle. And yes, definitely go follow her. She posts the most beautiful content. Of course, she lives in arguably the most beautiful spot in the entire world. But she just has such a beautiful heart and incredible soul, as I'm sure you could tell just from the last few minutes of her speaking. Thank you so much, Noelle. And next up is Danielle. Danielle April Gotha is a pioneering entrepreneur best known for creating financial independence and self-sustainability while working from home. She began her career as an RN, transitioned into the world of personal training, and then corporate wellness. She's not just a business-minded individual, though. Danielle is a fervent believer in women having their own financial independence for the unexpected times and the freedom to choose their path. So Danielle and I also had a special moment in Arizona where we just took a deep dive into her specific all-out story to uncover what she felt called to share about during this season of her life. She took that conversation and what she ended up putting into writing is so powerful. I'm not going to spoil her chapter, but I can tell you that if you've ever been in a place where you are just fighting to get through the trials in front of you, you need to go read her chapter, and I promise you're going to be inspired. So without further ado, Danielle, I'm handing it over to you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. It is no question why I am grouped with Elizabeth and Noelle. We all really align in our message, and I feel really blessed to be grouped in this CEO healthy family lifestyle. If my background noise is a little off, I have an air conditioner going. Just tell me and I'll put my headphones on. I am going to put my website in that just brings you to a little survey at the end because I won't be sharing any screens, but this way I don't forget.
Oh, Danielle, you got muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Really excited about the book and hearing everyone's stories again. It has been such a unique process. And when we all met in February, each of us said, it's not always common to just connect and vibe with people, and out of a group so large, we all just had this energy flow that has come into this book, and it's been amazing. So today I'm going to be talking about tips to simplify your life for a thriving business and healthy family. My focus today is really on the then and now, because my life looks so different now. My entrepreneurial path has changed and evolved. So I want to share what it looked like in the past and what created what I've been able to evolve over the years. And I do want to say, with like a little show of hands, like Angelina stand up, who had to like look down and see what they were wearing, because can you hear me?
It is cutting in and out. So what I think you can do is turn your camera off so that it'll prioritize your audio.
Sure.
And then we'll be able to at least hear you.
All right. And let me put I'm going to put my headset in and see if that just helps a little bit. Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Great. Okay, good. So when Dr. Angeli had to stand up, I was like, who had to look down and see what they were wearing? Because you know the Zoom life, especially professional life, we are fancy and professional on top and typically pajamas on the bottom. So made me laugh a little bit. Sharing a piece of my story, in 2010, I was newly married. And I was transitioning from the RN world to personal training. I was a prenatal fitness specialist, and I had over 100 client lists in just a year. I was making waves in my zone of genius in a place that I absolutely loved, which was San Diego, California. My dream life was happening to a T until it wasn't. My husband had dreams as well, and I adapted to his military lifestyle and where the military was taking us. That was really hard for me. And until I found network marketing as a mom, and especially a new mom, my life really transitioned. So then I had one child. I had a deployed spouse. He left when our daughter was 5 weeks old. I had a struggling marriage before entrepreneurship existed. I had a struggling self-identity. I knew who I was and wanted to be before motherhood. And with motherhood, I really felt lost. And it was probably the first time in a long time that I had felt lost. I absolutely loved the hustle. Right now, so many people are talking about the negative effects of the hustle lifestyle, and I loved everything about it. My personality is a lot of fun and energy, and constant change and stuff kind of is a characteristic of that, because if I'm not enjoying something, I'll pivot. And the hustle mentality almost gives you no time to think about that kind of stuff. But with the hustle, it helped me to hide. I was able to hide behind the struggling marriage, right? I was able to ignore things that weren't in their prime. During that time, the things that I did as a beginner businesswoman during deployment and as a solo mom was time blocking. So that's something that you'll find that I'm going to be sharing as a freebie at the end, is my time blocking schedule. This was huge. Moms that I've worked with have said that the 15-minute time block scared them. They were like, why would I want to do that? But then once they did it, it simplified their day and their schedule. Because when we get distracted, it takes us so much time to get back on track. Having that time block schedule allows you to simply look at your schedule, see exactly where you're supposed to be, and get back on track without having to think, without having to get frustrated. So I highly encourage it and recommend it, especially for those of you who have multiple things in your life that you're juggling. The second tip is open communication. This is huge when it comes to entrepreneurship and having a healthy family lifestyle. Everyone in your family should be involved in this conversation. Your spouse, your close relatives, if they are highly interactive with your family, we don't live near family, children, even your close friends, if it's something that's important to you. Be sure that you're all in the loop. Everyone may not be in agreement, but it's important that they know why you're working, when you're working, your time commitment daily, and how they can be supportive through it all. The third tip is going to be to leave the house mess. It doesn't need to be cleaned every single day. I learned this early on. It was much easier with a spouse deployed because there definitely was no one complaining about the mess. But my husband grew up with knickknacks and stuff everywhere. So he really does not complain about a messy house. He knows and understands this life well, but you want to create a cleaning schedule. For those of you who want to know when you're going to be doing the home tasks, it's on your schedule. You know when it's going to get done, so you can ignore it short term. It's not going to be ignored forever, but it allows you to focus on your business when you need a no distraction time frame. The fourth tip is delegate and hire out. This is super important. You want to do this sooner than you might think you can afford it. I will share that when I had a personal assistant, my business grew exponentially. So I might not have felt that I could afford it, or it might have been tighter with the budget when I started, but it quickly paid for itself. So look at the things that you can take off of your list, whether it's a laundry service or someone to come and clean your house for you. But with that time, you need the discipline so that you're specifically working, you're replacing that time that you're not cleaning, organizing, doing different things for your business time. How is it different then versus now? Now, I have 3 kids. I have a husband who is home daily. He was able to quit his job last April. We completely uprooted our life, sold everything, donated half of our belongings in Virginia Beach, and we moved to the mountains of Tennessee. Lived in a camper for 6 months with 3 children. Honestly, I enjoyed cleaning only 400 square feet. So it was kind of a nice little shift, but it was what we had dreamed up together. And it was something that my husband couldn't have done or didn't want to do even 3 to 5 years ago. So life dreams and things like that can change as, what am I going to say? As the world around you changes, right? Things can shift and happen. I have a thriving marriage with the same husband that I had a struggling marriage with. We did separate for quite some time, and that is, I do share that in my story. So I hope that you guys do read that. Let go of my past life. It took me a long time, but struggling with the identity of becoming a mother because I saw so much in myself. And while I still see so much and I know what I'm capable of, I also know that I'm in a different time in life and there are certain things that can wait, but my children are not one of those things. I prioritize my family significantly. I still love the hustle, but I can't do it the same way that I did in the past. There are a lot more variables. I don't want to do it the same way I did in the past. And I am present every single day. That is absolutely huge for me. I do want to share that you want to find your people when you're doing this life and you're trying to balance it with your family. I often have had a lot of people, especially when I reached a 6-figure income. You know, in the world of network marketing, in the world of entrepreneurship, no success is guaranteed. Income is not guaranteed. There are so many variables that go into it. But when I hit that level of income, I had so many people telling me, you need to hire a babysitter. You need to, right? You need to do this. You need to do that. And for me, I really had to do that internal work, like Dr. Elizabeth was talking about. I really had to be true to myself, like Noelle was talking about, right? Be brave and unapologetic. Trust yourself against all odds. Our messages all tie in together. And I truly feel that this past year, almost year, with these amazing women has given me permission to honor that things look a little different right now, and that's okay. I just became a best-selling author in a year that so many changes have happened, in a year that so much was unpredictable, and that there were so many unknowns and variables. I just did something that was on my bucket list that wouldn't have happened had I not connected. It may have happened down the road, but it wouldn't have happened in this way with these amazing women. So right now I want to share with you 3 ways that you will be able to work with me after this call. I did share my website and I will share it again. It brings you to a super, super short survey just to let me know what it is you're looking for and how you connect with what I've shared over this time. The first way is through Entrepreneur and Homesteaders Health and Healing. As a personal trainer, I can't let go of that piece of my life. I absolutely love helping entrepreneurs create their healthy living habits. And now that we've created a homestead lifestyle, and my husband has some unusual injuries from chopping wood and doing all the things, I'm learning that a lot of people don't take care of themselves in between their everyday lifestyle habits. So that's one of the ways. The second way is through my financial awareness with spending and earnings. It's a step-by-step guide that I created primarily for women, especially fellow military spouses, to help them better understand, let you know where your money's coming from, where it's going, to be able to plan ahead. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, how to get beyond that and how to make an income, even if it's not starting a complete and full business. And then the third way is through compensation plan strategies. So for the network marketers out there, I'm a numbers girl. This topic was not around numbers. It's what I do. It's what I love. I understand them more than anything. So as a compensation coach, I help women in network marketing to better strategize their business, to forget the fluff, forget all the rewards and things like that if income is a necessity right now. So if one of those 3 ways is somewhere that you need a little bit more personalization, then that's a way that you can work with me right now. I really hope that these tips were helpful for you and that you'll be able to implement them or share them with a fellow female network marketer or business entrepreneur in your life.
Awesome. Awesome, Danielle. Thank you so much. And I have to say, like, you know, again, this is the Elevate 360. This is the 360-degree approach to business, right? All things life and business. And I love my coaching calls with you when you're like in the camper or like in the garage with the project going on, homesteading with the kids in the background. Like, I love it, right? Like, I love that everyone's definition of like their dream life and being empowered and living all out is definitively like up to you what that looks like, right? And I just love it. So thank you so much for sharing. And again, you guys, I hope you're excited about reading these chapters. So cool. Yes. So really quick, quick reminder, we've seen some new folks jump in. So let me, really quick, let me pull this over again. If you're just jumping in and you haven't purchased the book, we do have a free digital download through Amazon with the QR code right here. Although we would love for you to actually purchase the hardback or whatever you call it, like the paper version of the book, because we're donating all of our proceeds, and we would for Mighty Millie, and we would love for you guys to get this book in your hands so you can read it, you can highlight it, you can go back to stories and be inspired over and over and over again. But just know that. Also, quick reminder, general housekeeping, because we're getting close to the end. We have one more live event ticket to give away to our attendees who are streaming live with us right now. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, you might want to come hop on the Zoom. We're giving away one more ticket today to the live Burnout to All Out event in Nashville, October 6th and 7th. All of our mastermind members will be there. We will have incredible keynote speakers in business and life there to grow your network, grow your business, and just grow you personally and professionally. And with that, just a quick reminder one last time before we go over to our next speakers, we do have the 2 bundles for those of you who love to gift books to clients. You can get 30 paperback books. And when you purchase those 30 paperback books, you get a free event ticket to Nashville. So for $497, we're giving you 30 paperback books. And then also, if you purchase 100 books, if you're looking for more intimate live event experience with the Burnout to All Out team, and you value lots of really good books to gift to your community, for $1,997, we are gifting you guys a free event ticket to Nashville and a live event roundtable here in my hometown with our leadership team, valued at over $7,000, along with access to our Ultimate LinkedIn Leads Blueprint, which is our on-demand course. That's incredible 5 basic modules to get you up and running on LinkedIn. So know that is here while we stream live today only. And with that, I am going to turn it back over to you, Danielle.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes. Don't forget to keep engaging in the chat. We only have 3 more authors who are presenting today, and you don't want to miss the live event. If you can make it happen and you can be there, trust me, you want to be there. All right. So next up is Pam Carey. Pam Carey is a wellness entrepreneur who is passionate about helping people bring their wellness along with them as they age. The CEO of her business for 25 years, she has been a loyal partner to her brand for over 50 years. Her recent focus is on partnering with holistic healthcare professionals as they work in the area of disease prevention. She loves music, people, and travel, and her friends call her Pam Possible. And in case you didn't pick up on it, this isn't just Pam, this is Pam Possible. And oh my word, does she make you realize that everything really is possible. Pam is one of the most encouraging people I have ever met, And I've had the absolute honor of getting to know Pam both professionally and personally over this past year. And let me tell you what, she is a wealth of wisdom and lived experience. She is the perfect person to be training on developing resilience. So without further ado, Pam Possible, take it over.
Hey, everybody. So happy to be here deep in the program. So I think I've been parked here strategically to wake you all up. So we're going to hope that you're smiling by the time you're done, because that would make me most happy. That could be the greatest compliment. First of all, I want to thank all of you for joining us here today. And I hope that you're finding these little author chats really helpful to you. I just love this format, and I'm really thrilled to be part of our book. I never thought I would be an author. I mean, I bumped into Melissa at her live event last year, not really knowing much. And I just kind of decided to take a leap and jump into her mastermind, completely blind. And I had a successful network marketing business for over 25 years. I have 5 kids. My husband has a great job. I don't really need to work, but I can't sit still. So I hopped into the mastermind, and it has just stretched me beyond in places. And why do we get tearful? Ask Michelle Douglas. Do you feel me, Michelle? I mean, the friendships that we have and the things we're learning. And I'm just growth is good. You know, we go through things, but we grow through things. And that's what you have to remember. We grow through things. So stretch yourself so that we're growing. So I want to acknowledge all the women here. It's predominantly women. Sorry, the couple of guys. We're happy you're here. But, you know, I'm speaking to the women who run a household and manage a family. And while some of you are not moms, many of you are moms who are running busy households. And maybe if you're not a mom, maybe you're in a household with parents living in your home. Maybe you have both and you're in that sandwich generation where you're taking care of your kids and your parents at the same time. And I'm going to guess that most of you guys, and pets, Brooke, yes, and pets. And I'm going to guess that most of you have a part-time or a full-time job. And so working from home can be a challenge. Regardless of your situation, you are a woman. And I'm going to guess that you wear many hats. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? We want to do it all. So I want to stress the importance of making sure that as much as women are capable of multitasking and managing multiple things all the time, we have 8 channels going on at my house at all times. It's crucial to acknowledge that you are a human being. You do have limits and finite resources. And if you try to continue to do it all, you are going to experience burnout. Ask any of us. Stress and a negative impact on those relationships that really matter most to you, on your physical and your mental health. And if you read my chapter, I went through the mental health valley with 2 of my daughters, and it was pretty staggering. And I want to just tell you to remember that you're the mom. You're not the coach, you're not the piano teacher, you're not the counselor, the boss at work, or you're not anyone else. You're the mom, and nobody loves your kids more than you do. And it's important that you not be afraid to take off those other hats and let other people do those jobs so you can focus on being your best mom and wear that mom hat proudly so you can be at your best for the ones that you love most. So I'm going to share some of my top tips for handling the chaos. I've certainly had some chaos in my house over the years. And these tips are designed to help you create a healthy environment in your home. Why did they give me this topic? I think it's genius, whoever's in charge of this project. And to help you take some essential steps toward maintaining your well-being, really so that you can achieve long-term prosperity, right? My dad said, you only go around once. So let's do it right, okay? So remember, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So here we go. The first thing is we need to organize and prioritize. Did you know that chaos spells can't have anyone over syndrome? That's what it stands for. Can't have anyone over syndrome. If you live in chaos, you can't have anyone over, right? It's inevitable for a lot of us. It's important to create simplicity in your life so that you can function. So I'm not a systems girl. I'm a kind of jump in and be spontaneous. Systems have been a challenge for me, but I think having a to-do list or a planner where you can track your daily, weekly, monthly tasks and focus on what's essential first and recognize that some things can wait or be delegated to others. So that's my first tip. Get organized and prioritize what needs to be done. Next, we want to delegate responsibilities. I think that's been said here before. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Your family is a team. More kids doesn't mean you have more to do. More kids means you have more help. Oftentimes I felt like I lived in a shoe and I had so many kids, I didn't know what to do. But, I had more helpers. I had to look at that, right? A family is a team. And if you don't get down on delegating responsibilities, pretty soon you're going to be reading Codependent No More, because you're going to have so much codependency in your life that it's going to be a problem. So let me warn you about that. So set realistic expectations in your life. Accept that you can't do everything perfectly, and that's okay. Somebody taught me a few years ago what I've been longing to hear for many years, 2 phrases: roughly right and good enough. And those phrases have carried me when I'm in my deepest valleys. Recognize that imperfection is a part of life. It's okay to make mistakes, and you are going to fail. But fail stands for first attempt in learning, right? So let's fail, but let's make sure we're failing forward so that we can learn when we're failing. Next, we want to practice self-care. And I know that Elizabeth talked about that, and Danielle, and we need self-care. Make time for self-care activities regularly, whether it's taking a short break, taking a walk, engaging in a hobby that you enjoy, or simply like spending time alone. Self-care is essential for recharging. You can do it in the middle of your day. You can do it at the beginning of your day. I want to stress, I'm a wellness entrepreneur, so I want to stress the importance of exercise, moving your body, which Dr. Anjali talked about, and eating healthy food. Garbage in equals garbage out, and gourmet in equals gourmet out. Do you water your houseplants with Gatorade? I don't think so. So what are we putting in our body? Because what we got to put in the good stuff so that we can get good stuff out, right? We're the most well-fed and the most poorly nourished nation in the world. That means we have the most food that's not good for us. It is a challenge to be well and to have wellness in your life. And I want you guys to live your life full of wellness with as little illness as possible. And I help people, as Danielle said, bring wellness along with you as you age. Why do you leave it behind? If you're going to live to be 90, you want to stay well through 87, 88, 89. Who wants it, right? You want to stay well that long. If you get into illness at age 60, you're going to get ripped off of 30 years of wellness. Why? And you got to take that wellness or that wellness responsibility on yourself. So remember to eat healthy and exercise. Practice that good self-care. Establish boundaries. Set clear boundaries. Another trouble spot for me. I have a picture that one of my friends in my business painted one time. It's of a picket fence, and it sits prominently next to my computer to remind me of boundaries and the importance of boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Judy Tierney said today to say yes and lean in, and I agree with her. But for me, I had to say no, right? Boundaries protect my time and protect my energy. And I learned that from Melissa too, right? No calls before a certain hour of the day. Who comes first when you get out of bed? You do. So enable yourself to focus on what truly matters by establishing boundaries. Seek supportive networks. Danielle said the same thing just before me. Surround yourself with a supportive network of friends, of family, or like-minded individuals. This support system, you can share your experiences with, you can vent your frustrations with, and seek advice that can be invaluable for you. Vet your people. You get to choose who you hang out with, and you're a product of your environment and your community. So choose those people carefully. And when they pour into you, remember to pour back into them. Next, we want to practice mindfulness. Incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. Meditating has been a lifesaver for me. I love the app Insight Timer. It's my favorite thing. Doing a breathwork session. Thank you for introducing me to that, Melissa, when I met you. My eye mask is one of my favorite pieces of clothing now. Simply take a moment to be present and reduce stress. In the miracle morning or the morning routine that Dr. Elizabeth Wygant talked about today, it's gold. There's a book called Miracle Morning. It's by Hale Elrod, E-L-R-O-D, Hale Elrod. He has Miracle Morning for networkers, Miracle Morning for realtors. Find that book. That is gold. And just follow that. That'll change your life. Learn time management. Like I said, when blocking your time, and Danielle talked about that too. Who's our leader in this group? Who teaches us all these things? Melissa? Yes, we all listen. We're good students in her class. And we all have the same 24 hours, remember? I love it when people said, oh, I don't have time. I'm like, really? Because we all have the same 24 hours, don't we? You didn't choose to use the time to do what I asked you to do, right? So we all have the same 24 hours. So make good use of that time so you can be efficient and productive. Celebrate the small wins. Acknowledge your achievements. Share highs and lows. We do that at dinner. What are your highs and what are your lows for the day? Share your wins. And we share wins at the beginning of our Zoom calls in the business. We always start with sharing wins because that puts people in the right frame of mind that they have value and they'll contribute and they're engaged in your call. Continuous learning and growth is super important. Embrace a growth mindset and be open to learning from experiences, right? Be willing to adapt and improve different areas of your life. I want to say this, leaders are readers. And my latest favorite book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. We don't go through things, we grow through things. I said that at the beginning. So when you're going through things, we're growing through things. And one of my favorite analogies is that women are like tea bags. Now, I'm a tea drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker, but women are like tea bags. The longer you keep them in hot water, the stronger they become. So you read all the stuff that happened to me in my chapter. I am strong because I have been through it in the hot water. So every time things come, I look up and I say, okay, it's just another lesson in strength building. So bring it to me, right? So be strong and be that tea bag. Maintain a positive outlook. I am eternally positive. My cup is like always half full. And I ask my kids if you have a good day or a great day, because you live in the United States of America. And globally speaking, you can't have a bad day, right? So ask your kids and ask your people, did you have a good day or a great day? And I ask myself 3 questions every day. How can it get any better than this? What else is possible? And what will it take? If you can answer those things, you can move abundantly into the future because anything is possible. Be flexible and embrace change because life is unpredictable and things happen. And you might have your whole next 90 days laid out and something's going to go down in 22 days and you're going to get it, right? It's coming for you. So I look outside, I tell my people, my family, when you look out there and you see the storm coming and the trees are blowing, what tree are you? Are you the healthy green tree that's blowing in the wind? That's a good thing. You got to be flexible. But if you're those trees that are broken with those dead branches on them and they're dead and those branches snap off, you're not going to be able to move through the things that come your way and you won't grow through them. So which tree are you? Are you a healthy tree? Or are you the tree with the dead branches? So embrace change as an opportunity for growth in these new possibilities that are coming for you. One of my uplines in my company told me, her greatest tip is to prepare yourself to be ready to receive what's coming your way. Wow. Wow. So that's on you. So prepare yourself because it's coming. The last couple of things I have are find joy in the little things, the gratitude journal. We learned about that with gas. And write those good things down because the attitude of gratitude will carry you far. And lastly, ask for help when you need it. Don't hesitate to seek help from the people you know and from the people you don't know, from friends and from professionals, counselors, therapists. If you feel overwhelmed, mental health is real and it's in our world everywhere, every day. If you find it challenging to cope with certain aspects in your life, raise your hand and get help. Having a therapist was one of the most important things for me and my family, and they carried us through a decade in our valley. And I say that professional help is required equipment for living your best life. It's required equipment, and there's no shame in that. Okay, so remember that achieving your whole life is a journey, not a destination. So be patient with yourself, focus on progress rather than perfection, practice self-care, celebrate the small wins, keep a positive attitude. And over time, you're gonna get the chaos under control and you'll start to have people over, right? You'll be stronger than you ever thought you could be, and you'll enjoy peace and prosperity as you live your life all out. If you'd like to be in touch with me and join my community, I can give you a photo of that. And we can have that. I don't know how I function without Jackie in my life.
I don't know how any of us function without Jackie in our life, man. Let's be honest.
So here we are. Am I sharing the screen yet or no? No?
Not yet.
Ah, I did that first. Where's my Zoom? I'm sorry. Here we are. Okay. Share. All right. We got you. We got you. Okay. We got that college degree, right? You can't do anything. Is it there? No. Yes. Yay. In a moment. Do we have it? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my email. My QR code is to my link tree because I like to work with 3 types of people. People who want to get healthy, bring their wellness along with them as they age. You know, being healthy is not for everyone. So maybe it's not you, and that's okay, but that's on you. I also want to work with people who want to earn money. So I have that also as a segment of people that I work with. Being wealthy is not for everyone either, but that's okay. You can decide. And then my new thing is building my brand of Pam Possible. You see me here in my pink. PamPossible.com is in the process of being built at the very moment. So sit tight for that. If you go there, you'll just see that it's coming. So I'll save you the trouble. But I want to tell you to join me there. The QR code is for my link tree. I am excited to work and shift my focus. You'll see in my story about working with healthcare providers to help medically educated people to start working on prevention of symptoms and working on building wellness instead of treating symptoms and treating illness. So I think there's lots of possibility in the world today, and I love people and I love all of you. And I want to thank all of you for this community and just everybody, because it is a privilege to work with you and to become a best-selling author, and cheers to all of us. So thank you for the opportunity today. I hope I helped you all. You know, you only go around once, so do it up.
Thank you so much, Pam Possible. Definitely connect with her. Pam, in case you missed it in the chat, there are lots of people saying, I took so many notes from Miss Pam. So
you can
much.
send in my notes.
Yes.
There's a cool little, if you don't know what to do in wellness, I forgot to say, there's a cool little vitamin quiz on my link tree. So get on that QR code. If you missed it, whatever, you'll get it next week. Okay. And take a vitamin quiz and see what you need, because it's not in the food. Remember, we got to help you out. So that's free and you can learn from that. So that's a 3-minute thing you can do. You don't even have to talk to me. Just take it. All right. Love you all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Next up is Brooke Mole. Brooke is an ex.com ad executive turned stay-at-home mom who later turned into a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Driven by her passion for health and wellness, Brooke combined her marketing expertise with unwavering enthusiasm for well-being to forge a thriving e-commerce business that not only empowers her, but also serves as her platform to mentor other aspiring go-getters. Fueled by her entrepreneurial nature, Brooke strives to lead a life unencumbered and helps other women to do the same. Brooke is a brilliant woman who shows up and serves others seemingly so effortlessly with so much grace. Brooke and I were able to have a few different conversations that will stick with me for life as she walked through the process of sharing her story through her written words. Her reflections about motherhood have already shifted the way I respond to my daughter when she's shrieking at 5 a.m. or banging out a new tune on the piano. If you're a parent, you can probably relate. And I just cannot speak highly enough about Brooke and her ability to create an unencumbered life. And so with that, I want to hand it over to her so she can share with us all of her amazing secrets. Thank you so much, Brooke. Oh, there
we go. Danielle, thank you for that kind introduction. Before I get started, I just need to tell you all, 2.5 years ago, I stumbled into the free LinkedIn lead gen masterclass, not really knowing what that was or what it was going to do for me. And in the last 2.5 years, I have made incredible friendships with all of these amazing human beings. I have incredible mentorship with Melissa, of course, and Danielle, and so many others. I've been at the table with some heavy hitting coaches that Melissa pays lots of money to learn from. And just because I linked my little caboose to the freight train that is Melissa Henault, I'm now a best-selling author and a speaker and a coach. And it's just incredible the momentum that you can gain by pulling up your chair to a group of incredible human beings. So I'm just honored to be here. Thank you all. And I'm super stoked to share a little bit of my story with you. So before I get started, how many of you can think of a time where you've been faced with a major life transition that kind of stopped you in your tracks? Like maybe it was when you transitioned from college and the fun and the partying into adulthood and you got your first job and you're like, whoa, is this really what I wanted?
Or maybe it was when you got married and you're like 3 weeks after your honeymoon, you're like, what the hell did I get myself into for the rest of my life? Hopefully that's not it. Or maybe you relocated from a different town to a new town, or you had to start over, or you experienced an incredible loss of somebody. These life challenges could be positive, they could be negative, but sometimes they are very overwhelming. So, they say ultimately the only constant in life is change, right? But if we're going to live a life that's all out, we need to learn how to embrace change, because it's happening. Like it or not, it's happening. And we have to embrace it in a constructive way in order to move from the old and usher in the new. So for me, I hit a major transitional period in my life this year that really rocked my world. So I hope you'll read my chapter in the book. It's entitled, lovingly, 50 is my least favorite F word. And this may sound silly to you, but for me, turning 50 was an existential crisis. And on the surface, it made no sense. But for me, it was a very real and emotionally challenging time for me. And in order for me to really truly embrace living all out, which is really what we all want, right? We all want to live a life of unencumberedness, right? An all out life. But in order to do that, sometimes you got to do some work, right? Elizabeth, Dr. Elizabeth talked about, you got to do the work, right? So today I'm on the other side of 50. I'm in a good place with it all. I don't cry as much as I was. And I'm thrilled to share with you my transformative journey that I went through that helped me to really embrace this phase and to create the all-out life that I'm really wanting to create. So my title of the talk today is Embracing Transitional Phases to Create an Unencumbered Life in 5 Easy Steps. But I gotta say, the steps might be simple, but they're not easy, guys. You got to do the work, and sometimes it hurts a little bit. So my goal today is to teach you a process that I used that I hope will inspire you and teach you how to move through transitional phases with grace and with confidence. And these steps are inspired by my personal experience and my journey, and have really helped me to gain some clarity and some joy around moving into this next chapter of my life. So let's delve into the steps together. Step number 1 is acknowledging and cherishing the past. So it's all about recognition of the amazing place that you're coming from, right? All of the beautiful memories that led you from where you were to where you're going. And so I hate when coaches say, take out your journal, and I want you to journal. I hate journaling. But I got to tell you, every single time I journal, like major epiphanies happen, major downloads happen. So I'm going to ask you to journal, not right now, but after this, is to go and take a moment and write down all of the things from the previous phase of your life that you loved and that you're going to miss. So for me, turning 50 was just a lot more than just a number. It was an ushering in of empty nestitude. So my baby is going off to college in 3 days. I can finally say that without bawling. But I am officially going to be an empty nester. So in my journal, I wanted to reflect on all of the things that brought me joy from when my kids were little, like being the class mom or hearing their little voices, little squeaky voices in the morning. And writing these things down really preserves these memories for you. They solidify them in your heart, but they also allow you to celebrate like the awesomeness that your life has been, right? So I'm going to challenge you to do that. That's actually easy. Step 2, I want you to think about those times and appreciate the challenges that those times brought, right? It's not all sunshine and roses. We wish it were. But as humans, we tend to romanticize the past. Like all the moms here, raise your hand if you're a mom. All the moms here, when you have a baby and you're in labor and you're screaming and you're like cursing at your husband for getting you into this situation. And you're like, I will never do that again. Like that freaking sucked. And then like a couple months later, you're rocking your baby going, honey, when can we have the next one? Right? We forget about the hard, but we need to acknowledge because the hard is real, right? We need to acknowledge the reality of some of the difficulties during those phases. So for me, those cute little squeaky voices that I'm gonna miss were also the same little squeaky voices that would wake me up at 5 a.m. telling me they gotta go puke. Right? So it's hard. And it's good to acknowledge the challenges because it helps us to get real. Like, okay, let's not get caught up in all the sunshine and roses. Let's remember the things that were difficult. So like for me, I'm going to be an empty nester. Chaos in the house was hard, like messes everywhere when my kids were little, early morning wake ups, toothpaste on the bathroom sink, all of that stuff. I'm not going to miss that. So let's write it out because it's good to know that you're moving into a phase where actually those things aren't going to be there anymore. That's a positive thing. Step 3, confront and release regrets. This is a hard one. I invite you here to write down the things that you feel bad about, like the things you wish you had done, things you wish you had said, things you wish you had not said. Are there people that have hurt you or people you may have hurt? Were there opportunities that you didn't harness, like buying that Peloton stopper right before COVID hit, right? So write it all down, reflect on it. But here's where it gets hard, and here's the key. You gotta feel into it, you guys. Cry if you need to cry. Scream if you need to scream. I know Melissa's a big fan of screaming into a pillow, right? Don't skimp. You got to get it out. There's different modalities to get trauma to move through your body. You might even need to hire a coach to help you do that, or a therapist. But acknowledging regrets, they're part of the human experience, but you have the power over them. They don't need to have the power over you. And really, this step of releasing the regrets is going to pave a way for you to get some personal healing and emotional freedom from some things that are keeping you stuck. Number 4, and this is fun, embrace the possibilities and the excitement of the next phase of your life. Dare to dream. We've heard other people talk about dare to dream. I think Sarah started it out telling us about that. So for me, like, hey, I'm an empty nester. I get to spend my winters in Florida. You guys, I'm from Chicago. Do you know how awesome that is that I get to go to Florida for the winter? I can focus on my businesses without a lot of distraction, without the running around and the mommy Uberness that I've done for all these years. So really let your imagination soar here. Shift your perspective from dwelling on what you're leaving behind and what you're going to get in its place. So exciting and so powerful. And then finally, number 5, surrender. Just surrendering it all to God, to your higher power, whoever you release your cares to, whether it's in prayer, going out in nature, just let it go. Give yourself permission to release and let it go. So for me, with my rite of passage ceremony that I went through, I burned all of that work that I had done. I went to my fireplace, I lit it on fire, and I let the smoke carry it up to the heavens, and I released it. And it was like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. And I was able to truly begin to celebrate, like, holy cow, turning 50 is a gift, right? It's amazing. And I'm so fortunate for it. So going through these steps really helped me to embrace the transition and turn my sadness and my stuckness into a party and a celebration. So the 5 steps: cherish the past, write it out. What was awesome? 2, accept the crap, like write it all out. What are you not going to miss? Number 3, confront your regrets, heal from those regrets, get some help if you need to. Number 4, write out your future, dream big. And number 5, surrender and give it all up so that you can create that unencumbered life filled with joy, purpose, and clarity. So remember, change is going to happen. It's the only constant, but it brings new opportunities for growth and happiness. Embrace the journey, for each transitional phase holds the potential for a brighter and more fulfilling life. So I thank you for joining me on this enlightening journey. I would love to connect with you. My brand new website, built by my fellow masterminder, Stephanie Smout, is brookemall.com. I'd love for you to come check me out. I have a freebie in there if you are somebody who is maybe entrepreneurial and wants to get back into the workforce. I'd love to talk to you. I have a freebie that you can download that gives you some ideas on how to get back to work after taking a break. And I'm just grateful for this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, Danielle. I'm just like jumping in.
By all means, these are your people. How you can't not.
I love this, Brooke. You know, my kids are not, I'm not an empty nester yet, but I already there's so many things I try to pause and savor, you know, because there will be the last time my 11-year-old ever asks me to snuggle with him in the bed again. And I don't know when that day is coming. It's just like, you never know the last time they're going to ask you to pick them up until they just don't. One day you look back and it's been 6 months and they didn't ask you to pick them up anymore. So good, you guys. So sorry, Danielle, I just jumped in, but I wanted to, just pop in because we've got one more incredible dynamo mother-son author and speaker that you guys are going to hear from in just a minute. But before we do, just wanted to we actually have been tracking all the engagement. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and announce our final. We had a tie. We had a tie for our final 2 giveaways for live event tickets. I'm going to pull my list and I'm going to check it out here. We're going to announce the live event tickets here. And then we're going to slide into our final, and these guys are in Hawaii as well. So actually, I'll let Danielle edify them in a second, but we'll come back to that. But our winners for our final freebies that we're throwing out to the group, you guys are like the warriors who are here after a 5.5-hour seminar or summit. Our winners we have Tisha and Alexis C. So Tisha and Alexis C, our team will be reaching out to you directly with details for your prize. And with that also, before I turn it back over to you, Danielle, just a reminder again that today you can download the book, if anybody's new, through Kindle for free, but we also encourage you to, purchase the print form so that we can donate all our proceeds to Mighty Millie. And so with that, I am going to turn it back over to you, Danielle. If I missed anything, just fill in.
No, I think that was it. Congratulations to our winners. And thank you everyone for being so engaging and encouraging in the chat. This has been above and beyond any, I think, of our expectations. And what an incredible way to celebrate these authors and this best-selling book launch. So without further ado, and definitely last but not least, we have Dr. Mayava Clark, who is the wife and mother of 2 children. She is a respiratory therapist and a college professor. Dr. Mayava has a passion for helping children and parents feel valued, accepted, and understood. Along with her son, Chris Clark Jr., who is a hard worker and is currently working in retail. He is an avid sports fan, and his favorite teams are any of the Philadelphia sports teams. Together, they founded CASIN, which is Collaborative Advancement for Social Emotional Needs, because of Chris's life story and the struggles that he faced. So they both wrote their own chapters. And Dr. Mayava and Chris have been such an incredible joy to work with. From the tear-filled moment that Dr. Mayava and I shared in Arizona to the one-on-one Zoom meetings that Chris and I had throughout this process, every moment that we've shared together has been one of my greatest blessings in this project. The mission that they have been on together, which has continued to unfold in huge ways throughout this year. They also released another book, which I believe was also a bestseller, is beyond inspiring. And the work that they have done is deeply tied to the stories that they've lived out. Together, they are empowering others to advocate for the well-being of our children and safeguard them from the dangers in this online world. So as Melissa briefly mentioned, Dr. Maeva and Chris are in Hawaii right now with wacky Wi-Fi as they are on a ship. If anyone's been on a cruise, you know the Wi-Fi is not reliable, but they still have made every effort to be here today, so that you might have seen them pop in and out all throughout the day. But they prepared a presentation video to share with you all. So feel free to keep engaging in the chat. I know that they've been coming into the live Zoom on and off as they can, even though they're on vacation, which is dedication. So without further ado, I'm gonna share my screen and play their presentation.
Hi, my name is Dr. Maeva Clark.
And I am Chris Clark Jr., and we are the co-founders of CASEN. CASEN stands for Collaborative Advancement of Social and Emotional Needs.
Today, we're going to discuss the tools to protect your children in this digital age.
Why I was so passionate in educating the youth is because of my own struggles on social media as a teenager, and I want to prevent your kids from going through the same. And so that's why Jason is that's why we developed a social media platform that prepares kids for the major name platforms.
Together, we created CASEN Connect. In CASEN Connect, we teach social and emotional learning through social media to the children. And children get social and emotional learning in school. And what CASEN does is bridge the gap between what they're learning in school and applying it to real life situations, everyday life. And we're doing it through different social media platforms. Social media readiness. Are your children ready for social media?
Do you know what it takes to keep your child safe on social media?
Do you know how to protect your child's identity on social media?
Some of our objectives for today are teaching and identifying internet safety, discussing internet education, discovering the world of the internet, and listing things you can do.
Internet safety, parental controls and software. Are you aware that there are parental control software out there that will allow you to monitor and manage your child's online activities? There are internet filters out there that will allow you to block content to keep your children from accessing harmful websites. There is safe search settings that will allow you to put this in place that will allow only things you deem safe for the children to be able to access. And cybersecurity software. Are your devices current and up to date with antivirus or malware software? You want to make sure that they're current. Education. Educate your children. You want to teach them about cyberbullying. You want to help them know what it means to be cyberbullied, to whether they are in fact being bullied, or if they're witnessing cyberbullying, or if they are in fact the bully. Sometimes kids bully other kids and don't think that they're bullying. They might think they're just teasing or having fun, but the child on the receiving end can feel totally different about that. So we want to educate them to make them aware of what it really means to be bullied. You want to encourage critical thinking. When critical thinking with social media is teaching them how to differentiate fake news from real news. And you really want to help them decipher this. You want to find a reputable parental control software that will allow you to put settings and parameters in place for your children, such as setting timers on it so they can access social media from this time to this time, but it shuts off at night or whatever you set it up for. You want to make and set rules. You want to set boundaries and rules. I recommend that you do this with your children. You come up with a list of rules together and then set boundaries around it. You want to also set consequences. If they are breaking the rules, what's going to happen? And if that occurs, stick with it. You must stick with the rules you set and the boundaries around them. Safe social media use is when you teach them not to overshare. You don't want your children to provide too much information out there that will become traceable. So even if they don't put their address online, but they might say what city or what part of the city they live in, and they might tell what school they go to or the school's mascot. When pedophiles want to get to children, they don't need a lot. They will take the little bit of information that your child provides, do some research, and they have been known to show up at schools. And we don't want this. You want your children to stay safe, so teach them not to overshare. You want to monitor their friends online. Encourage them to only connect with people they know in real life, and then still monitor their friends. Safe passwords is when you want to encourage them to create passwords that are strong enough that people won't be able to hack into. You also want to make sure that they don't share their passwords with their friends. Kids can take someone's information if they have their password and their account, and they can post some really mean things or derogatory things or something, and your child will be the one blamed for it. You want to use secure Wi-Fi at home. So when you have your Wi-Fi set up at home, make sure you have it password protected, because when you pay your bills and things, if it's not password protected, someone can hack into it. What can you do? You can have regular communication with your children so that if something does happen or occur, they can come to you and feel comfortable with presenting that information to you. When they game or doing online gaming, you want to, again, encourage them to only play games with people they know in real life, because adults have been known to pretend that they're younger and that they may be your child's age to get them to trust them, and they can do it to trick them or to lure them. You want to also be a good digital role model. If you set these rules with your children, one of the rules is your child cannot use the phone at the dinner table, then I encourage you not to have your phone at the dinner table either. Be a good digital role model.
we educate because we care. We developed 4 different courses for you guys: social and emotional development, bullying identification, mental health development, and social media readiness. And also we have Case and Connect, which is a bridge between the courses in regular social media.
So on the left here is a couple pictures of our course that we offered over Zoom, and it was kids who participated that were from different parts, from different states on here. They were all on the East Coast, but they were from different states. And this is our Case and Connect. You'll see here, this is a news feed down here where we offer bullying information on one day. So if they get this on Monday, then Tuesday, there will be a question here that will ask them about the information they received on Monday. And now this information will be for Tuesday's quiz or for Wednesday's quiz based on Tuesday's information. And everything that the child posts has to be approved by or rejected by their teacher before it becomes visible to another student. So if you're interested in information that can help you prepare your children and keep them safe on social media, contact us. Here's our website, and if you scan this QR code, it will take you to our resource page, and you can get this PowerPoint along with other freebies that we have to help support you with your children. You can also look into our Case and courses if you want your children to take it. And guess what? We even have Case and parents where you yourself can take the courses and get equipped, and either you teach your children or you can have us work with your children as we work with you to support you both in being social media savvy and ready.
Thank you again for listening to us and giving us your attention. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to connecting with you guys.
Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye.
All right, you guys. And again, I just want to encourage you to go to the book and read their chapters. It was quite a huge accomplishment, especially, I mean, for Maeva and for all of these authors as well, but especially for Chris. These authors have read his story and they have heard him talk about his story, but I think you're going to be pretty surprised what ended up coming out in written word for him. So I have full body chills just thinking about it. We're going to drop the link in the chat. Go read the book. Go check out all these incredible authors' stories. And thanks for letting me be here.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So first of all, just again, huge round of applause to our authors who've come in today and taken time to really share their heart and soul with you, bring value to you today. And a huge congratulations to all of our authors for becoming best-selling authors. I just am filled with just joy and gratitude that you trusted the Burnout to All Out leadership team. I heard a lot of accolades for me, but it's really not me. It's really the team that surrounds you. All these amazing humans that emceed today and help lead. It takes a village to lift something like this up and off. And I just commend each and every one of you for the time, the energy, the heart and soul that you put into each of these individual chapters. That is now a legacy that's out there for people to read indefinitely, to bring value to them, to inspire them. They can come back to the stories over and over again. I've got like 30 hours worth of flights over the next 2 days that I can just read over and over again with this book. Thank you so much to the team Burnout to All Out for helping MC and facilitate today. And also to all our guests who are here to support our authors in their debut of the book today and the summit today. Last reminder, definitely, if you loved hearing from the authors, come see us in Nashville. Just a last reminder, October 6th and 7th, you can register here. It's going to be an incredible event. You also have the opportunity to purchase the book with an incredible proceed. But we also, there was something else I was going to say. Purchase the book, rate and review it. Last time I'm going to ask for that. It's been a long day for me. Rate and review the book. If you do, whether you download it for free or you purchase the paperback. We really appreciate all your support with this. Go connect with all of our authors. I don't know if the Burnout to All Out team has anything additional to say other than, cut me off if you need to, but I know that you're going to be getting resources for all the downloadables, all the resources that our speakers shared about today, and go follow them, connect with them over on social. And we thank you guys for your time. Any final remarks, anything I'm missing from the rest of the team before we wrap up? All good. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for your time. And you guys have a wonderful week. Go out there and live all out.